Hi guys, Lindsay here with Storybook Family Farm. So, yesterday I had Tracy come out, well, kind of hobble out, to where I thought we were putting the garden. Uh, yeah. Turns out, for some reason, I was totally wrong where it was going to be. Like, granted, it's still on the same side of the yard, but I thought the garden was going to be kind of over by in that area. Like I had told you guys that it was like by that tree and then by that row of fencing, like that was where it was going to be. Yeah, I was wrong. uh Tracy was like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, yeah, the garden, it's supposed to go over in here. Like, we're going to do this area over here. I got the rabbits tractoring on it so that way they put a bunch of deliciously fertile manure onto the soil to try to prep the area. And she's like, why are you prepping pasture area for them? And I was like, oh crap. So I had completely forgotten that our plan was to, it's not like I have a lot going on or anything for me to keep straight in my brain, but I had honestly forgotten that our plan was in the middle of the summer, to expand Wilbur and Ferdinand's area out that way towards where the garden is going to go. I also had forgotten about the fact that we had wanted to be able to use, I don't know if it'll show up on camera, there is a gazillion dandelions in this area over in here. And dandelions are honestly one of our rabbits' favorite foods. For those of you that don't know, dandelions have a really high level of calcium in the leaves. So when a mama rabbit has babies, she makes milk for them. And chickens, when they need more calcium, you can just give them eggshells or oyster grit, that sort of a thing. Goats, they get it from their minerals and from their feed and from the hay. But rabbits, they pretty much just want some dandelion greens because they are very high in calcium. So if you are deficient in calcium, you could try eating some dandelion greens. They are fully edible. They're kind of a bitter thing. I don't really care for them. I know some people really like them. I'm not a fan. I don't like bitter stuff or sour stuff. But anyways, so Tracy was like, why are we going to try to put a garden where it's perfect for pasturing the rabbits? Because we like to have the rabbits be in their little tractors, and we want to make more so that way our other rabbits throughout the summertime can be basically put on pasture, and we can just rotationally graze them throughout the grassy area. Plus, it makes it so we have less to mow. And I was like, oh yeah, I completely and utterly forgot about that. So I kind of felt like an idiot. So last night I had her hobble around to, her ankle was doing better. And then last night, when she was coming in from work, the big dog tripped her. So she kind of tweaked it again. I felt terrible. I was walking behind her and I'm like, why is she like falling? Well, that was why. But so she was kind of limping pretty bad last night. But so she explained to me and where the garden was actually supposed to go. So I thought, big brain moment here. I'm going to put T-posts in on the corners so then that way I don't forget where that's going, because I don't really want to accidentally prep the wrong area again, seeing as how we're really down to the nitty-gritty of getting things tilled up. So I don't know how well it'll come up on camera, but there's one of the T-posts. There's our beautiful pear tree. There is another T-post there. Or no, right there. Sorry. That's the big satellite dish that she reminded me, hey, that was part of the line. And I was like, oh, crap. So there's one there. I'm actually standing right where the garden is. And then there's the other one. So I just use my feet to measure it. I have very large feet, especially for a woman, but even for a dude, I'd have like decently sized feet. So with my shoes on, it's almost exactly a foot. So when I measured it all out yesterday, it was about 1,600 square feet of a garden space, which that is a space that we've been able to easily maintain in the past. When we lived in town, that's how big of a garden we had, but we also had to use flower beds to do it. So I'll try to step out of the way to show you guys. There's the one corner post right there. And then clear down over there is another one. And then over yonder is another one. I don't know how well these are going to show up on camera. It's very sunny, and the camera gets all wonky. There's another one there. But so we got it all plotted out, so I have to add more T-posts and stuff. I'm really glad that I had her come out because I was planning on doing that later today. After I get done filming this and moving the rabbits to the appropriate garden spot, I'm going to go work on doing some more painting at the camper. I got quite a bit done yesterday. The bedrooms are pretty much done. I just have a wee little bit of trim painting to do, and then I'm going to slap another coat of paint on the doors, like the interior doors of the camper, just so that way they get brightened up. When we had got the paints, the store that we got them from, they only had a flat white, so it doesn't make a very good trim paint, especially like if you're doing doors and stuff, because you can't wash it. So any like oils or smudges from your hands or dirt that gets on it or anything like that, it doesn't really wash off very well. So I have to repaint it because I already washed it and it just doesn't look very nice. Even with scrubbing it, it didn't turn out very nice. So I'll just slap another coat of paint over it to brighten it up and freshen it up in there. But so I figure I'll document moving one of the rabbit tractors, the lighter one. I don't think anybody wants to hear me grunting and groaning and yelling at myself for building something so stinking heavy. It seriously is a really big downfall that I'm trying to curb. So the one that I'm going to move now, I don't know if it'll end up showing on camera, so just bear with me. It is a much, much lighter one. So I'm going to set you guys down. Yeah, it's definitely not going to be shown on video. So I really need to get a new tripod. So if you guys know of a decent one that isn't too expensive, leave a link or a comment down below to let me know, different styles of ones that maybe you guys have used. I don't know. I just have a really little micro one that's probably only like 6 inches tall. So it makes it so getting shots at a distance are near impossible for me. But so this is the rabbit tractor that I made. It's very little. Ironically, the rabbit that's in it, his name is Biddy. He was a bottle baby. So I'll just show you guys while I'm doing it one-handedly because I did not overbuild this one. So he was a bottle baby. Sometimes with rabbits, they won't produce enough milk for all of their babies, or sometimes they will end up having babies that are very big pigs with the milk, and they'll push a smaller one out of the way. And Biddy was the runt of the litter, so he got pushed out of the way, and so we had to bottle feed him, which the odds of a rabbit surviving being bottle fed is like extremely small. His eyes had just opened, so it increased the chances of it. Now he's super happy eating fresh grass. But so the odds of his survival were almost like slim to none. But Tracy was very determined. She absolutely loves raising the rabbits. I like them too, but the rabbits are really her babies. So she was bound and determined to get him to survive. And then she ended up bonding really big with him. So that's why we have more bucks than we need for our breeding rabbits, because, well, they kind of ended up becoming our pets. So, yeah, that happens a lot around here. That's why we have like 40-some chickens or so, because we're like, oh, that one's super pretty. We can't get rid of that one. And we're like, oh, that one's really super cute. Or that one's really sassy. So it's kind of how we have 5 sea brights. Sea brights are almost worthless egg layers. They lay maybe like 50 to 100 eggs a year. They're a little bit bigger eggs, but they're not, they don't really earn their keep around here, but my God, they're gorgeous. So we like having them. They don't eat very much either, so it doesn't make sense to, get rid of them when they don't eat very much. They're some of our best foragers, so yeah. All right, so I got him watered now. He was low on water, and I knew that before I moved the tractors. but I figure make it a little bit lighter for myself. But so I moved him, it's probably like 30 feet that I moved him with one hand. So this design for the rabbit tractor is definitely a better size, better design for if there's a single in there. The other rabbit tractor that I made, it is freaking massive. That was my big mistake. When I had built it, the reason I overbuilt it so much, and I'll show you guys, it's got feed bags on the side because we had rabbits in it over the winter time. We actually were experimenting with colony raising Biddy and Bama, and that's how Bama got pregnant when we weren't necessarily wanting to breed. But anyways, so when I had built this, I had built it with the intention of that it would be in the pasture area with the goats. So I had built it like ridiculously strong. Like this is just a tarp on the roof, but there's like actual 2x4 construction because I had built it to be strong enough to withstand Lucky jumping on top of it along with all the other goats. Since we built it, we have decided it's not going in a pasture. It's too stinking heavy to move. Because I was going to actually put a little bit of a metal roof on it too, so that way it could really withstand him jumping on it and them, using it as a play toy. Because, that's what goats do. And I ended up just really super overbuilding it. So, yeah. That is something that it's a great cage for when we have a lot of grow outs that need to be processed because they can all fit in there and stuff. Like you could easily raise 10 in there. The tractor is, I think, like 2.5 feet wide by almost 6 feet long. So I mean, it is a massive, massive one. So it's great for if we have a whole bunch of rabbits that we're trying to raise out at one time. You just really got to eat your Wheaties before pulling it. It's kind of like, I don't know, makes me think of the Egyptians trying to pull stones, like trying to pull that thing. Like I have chicken legs. Like I'm pretty sure a chicken really is my spirit animal. Because, we have a very similar anatomy shape. But, yeah, thankfully I'm moving it downhill. Unlike when my mom's van was stuck, initially the rabbits were in the proper spot. That's what kind of screwed me up was when we brought Willie's camper here, I moved everything way out of the way. And then when the van got stuck, it ended up being right in the way that I moved it for our neighbor to tow it. So then I had to move them way over there just so that way they were for sure out of the way. And it doesn't show on camera, but it is actually a slight uphill. So luckily for me, I get to take them back downhill. But so I got to quit talking so that way I can get busy because I have a lot of work to do. And same thing as the last 2 weeks, not a lot of time to get it done. I definitely will be glad when Willie's driver's ed is over. It's definitely forcing us to really burn the candle at both ends, and it's not been very sustainable for us. It's been a rough journey of trying to just push through and power through. So, but we're managing with a lot of strong coffee, not a lot of breaks, and basically just sheer adrenaline to keep me going and stuff. So anyways, I gotta get busy. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoy this content, please give it a thumbs up, share it to your social media, and if you have not already, please subscribe to our channel to help us grow. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good one, guys.